ended a day ago. Hajj, which is Allah's obligation on His creatures, as He stated in the 3rd chapter of the Quran, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. It is Allah's right over humankind to make pilgrimage to the Kaaba if one is able to find a way there. It is a duty which humankind owes to Allah to make pilgrimage to Mecca. It is a duty which should not be delayed. We should have no doubt that delayal of this duty is a form of sin. When Allah put it as an obligation, obligations are primarily immediate. As long as the conditions for doing it are fulfilled, then that obligation should be fulfilled. As Allah said, prayer through the Prophet ﷺ is obligatory 5 times a day. It is obligatory as long as one is able. It is immediately obligatory within the time frame that has been set for it. And He said fasting, Ramadan, is obligatory. And it is obligatory within the time frame. As soon as that time comes, it is obligatory on the individual, and as long as he's capable, is able to do it, he must do it. Similarly, zakah. Zakah is obligatory once a year has passed on surplus wealth. One has got that surplus wealth in one's hands, one has the means, then it is obligatory for them to pay the zakah. You're not allowed to delay it. And similarly, Hajj is obligatory. It is obligatory in its time in the year that has been set for it, as soon as one is able. Unfortunately, many Muslims have neglected this obligation. They have found one excuse or other to delay it beyond its time, beyond the point of obligation. And that is why on Hajj we see an abnormal amount of old people. Very old people. Abnormal. It doesn't represent the norm of the ummah. Zakah represents the norm. The old, the young, everybody's paying. Fasting, the norm. The old, the young, everybody's fasting. Salah. Well, it should be the old, the young, and everybody. Alhamdulillah, with the awakening, Islamic awakening, which is spreading around the world today, we're starting to see more and more young people in the masjids. But in a sense, Salah, this has happened to Salah also, where people traveled for years. And the only people you would see in the masjids are the old people. Where did all the young people go? And we still see that to a certain degree. During Ramadan, everybody's there. But outside of Ramadan, mostly old people. And Hajj is similarly neglected. The proportion of old people is far greater than those of younger people. But it is something which is obligatory on each and every one of us as long as we're able. So, we know that the process of making Hajj is not an easy process. We should start preparing from now. Those of us who are not able to make Hajj this year, then we should make the intention from now to make Hajj next year. And start doing the things which are necessary to make a successful Hajj. Start from now. Don't wait until next Ramadan, and then when you try to find out, they say, well, the door for applications has already been closed. You say, too late. No. Start from now. This is an obligation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The seriousness with which we take this obligation is indicative of the seriousness of our faith. The other things that we do in life if it's really important to us, you see, we take these things very seriously, especially if it has to do with earning money. We take those things very seriously. So we make the necessary steps, get the necessary information, ensure that we get that money. But when it comes to dealing with the obligation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are lax. Allah ghafurur rahim. This is our favorite phrase. Allah is most merciful. Yeah, He's merciful for those who deserve His mercy. For those who are neglectful, who have not given Him His due, haven't made any kind of effort. If He were to be merciful to them in the same way that He is merciful to those who strive, make an effort, etc., then there would be no point in making any strive or any effort. We just carry along and do things anyhow. There must be a difference. So yes, He is the most merciful. He is Ghafur Rahim. The very fact that we're able to breathe and live and eat and all the different mercies and blessings that Allah has in the world, this is all a part of His being Al-Ghafur Rahim. He is Ar-Rahim, Ar-Rahman. But the reward for doing what He has made obligatory, this is a great reward. A reward which will not be achieved by those who have not made the effort. For those who sit back and just say Allah is Ghafur Rahim, they are like the kuffar. I'm not saying they are disbelievers. But they are like the kuffar. They are like disbelievers in that Allah shows His mercy on the disbelievers in spite of their disbelief and everything else. His mercy is there. He is Ghafur Rahim. He gives them a chance. And actually in the same verse, which is the 97th verse, Allah, after saying that it is His right over people that they make pilgrimage to His house, He goes on to say, وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَنِيٌّ عَنِ الْعَالَمِينَ. And whoever disbelieves, He uses, for those who don't accept that obligation, He uses kafara, to become a kafir, to become a disbeliever. Rejecting that obligation, not accepting it, is a form of disbelief. And whoever disbelieves by not accepting that obligation, then know that Allah is ghani. He is not in need of them fulfilling His obligation. He has no need from the creation. That this obligation which He has placed on us is out of a need that we have, not a need that He has. We are in fact harming ourselves by not fulfilling that need which we have to make Hajj. So, Hajj is something we cannot take lightly. The excuses which people make up are not acceptable. Ability means you have the price, the money, meaning even if you're saving up to buy a house, or you're saving up to pay the dowry of your daughter, which you shouldn't be paying, or you're saving up to buy a car, or you're saving up to do anything, but that money which you're saving up is enough for you to make Hajj, then it is obligatory on you to make Hajj. Delay the car, delay the house, delay the marriage of your daughter, which you shouldn't be paying for. But don't delay Hajj. Don't delay Hajj. This is a duty to Allah. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring us to Hajj, to help us to fulfill this obligation to Him, which we need to fulfill, and to get out of our Hajj the full reward which He has promised.